So what do you think happens when you put an atheist physicist in a mosque for Jummah prayer?
I've never been.
You've never been.
Was, where are the women? And I thought Arhan was telling me, oh, there's 1 minute left, so I put up my thumb.
Someone who has deep respect for the Islamic faith and someone who has been raised in an Orthodox family, I've always found it very exciting when someone from outside my faith has taken interest and wants to know more about my religion. So without wasting any further time, let's directly go meet James for the prayer. Okay, so this is the mosque. I am here, and that's James.
Yo, what's up? Salami, eggs and bacon.
No, yeah, so he was going to say Salaam Alaikum with salami, eggs and bacon.
Hey, alaikum salam.
Wa alaikum salam. Okay, so before we go in, I want you to put this on, which is ittar. You know what that is?
No.
It's charity in Islam to smell good.
On the wrist first?
Yeah.
Okay.
But it will burn if you don't rub it off.
Thanks for telling me after the fact.
No, but you've rubbed it off now. So that is the Cambridge Central Mosque.
Is it wudu?
Yeah, wudu. In India, we call it wudu too.
Okay.
So basically, wudu is cleansing before prayer, and it's supposed to be done every time you pray, unless you maintain it. So I'm gonna make wudu first, and then I'm gonna guide James through it. You will have to wash every part of your body out which is exposed.
Okay.
Cleaning your hands.
Okay. What about my feet?
Now we are headed to the prayer hall.
Christmas market.
Christmas market. We cannot enter without a fee, I'm assuming. Right now we are not in the
it's
outfit
free.
for it.
For a hat.
Ooh, for hat.
Is it? So is that theirs?
Yeah, we should give it. Ah, look at my shoes. I'm so cold. It's 5 degrees outside. My fingers are freezing. James is fine. He's warm.
I'm chilling. I'm feeling great.
Ooh, I would love to go into the thing, but I'm sure I'm going to freeze on the top.
Yeah.
Little darling, yes, here it goes. Come on, baby.
So right now we are in the Cambridge city centre with James. We are walking to a restaurant, but the decoration for Christmas is amazing here.
Why not?
People are getting ready and the Christmas spirit is on.
Yeah, absolutely.
You can hear, I don't know if you can hear it in the background, but you can pick up on a lot of Christmas carols being played. People are joyful. The weather is horrible, but yeah, we'll get used to that as soon.
Makes you proud to be British.
Yeah, makes you proud to be British.
Maybe 200 meters.
Okay, we are gonna make it.
Through them. Well done. Gotta get that finish.
Yeah.
There's nothing there for my interview.
So we finished having our lunch. James also got a haircut after that.
So fresh.
And now we are having some pastry. Okay, James got to experience Islam for the first time and he has some opinion. I would also be hearing it for the first time now.
Yeah, I've kept it a secret whilst we were walking down here to get lunch and then get cake. But overall, very, very positive. And thank you again for actually inviting me. It was a really positive experience for me. In particular, I will say that the thing that shocked me the most was how individual it all appeared. And this isn't something necessarily that I was actually expecting. I was expecting a lot more praise for Allah, for God. We have mentioned by the cleric, there was a child that halfway through started crying. And, I looked up and everyone else was just heads down, No one's looking at the child is crying, leave the child alone. And that shocked me because I was like, is anyone going to help this kid? This kid is crying. It's like, no, just leave it alone. Because people were taking it very seriously. And I completely forgot that in Islam, there's no idols. There's nothing. There's no faces. There's no...
And he was just like, so are these symbols which are on the wall supposed to mean something? And I was just like, no, there's no symbolic meaning of it. It's just there for decoration. And then that was something which he was not used to.
When you're so used to being like cathedral or like in Catholicism, I'm not Catholic, obviously, but I spent a lot of time in that space. Looking at that art and reading about it and writing about it and trying to emulate it myself. You then go into the mosque and it's like, wow, this is like barren. It's just the people and the cleric and then their interaction with God, which again is so individual. It doesn't feel like there's an attempt to wrap the experience in luxury. It's just you.
Yeah.
It's just you. And then the wall, and then that's it. and the carpet. There's nowhere to sit. If you're gonna go to a mosque, stretch your legs. Because I did not do that. I obviously the cleric was speaking Arabic mostly, maybe half the time.
No, so basically he first read the scripture, then he translated it in English.
Oh, okay.
So that's what,
okay.
Yeah.
Well, when he was speaking Arabic, I couldn't really pay attention. I was paying attention to his intonation, but mostly I was thinking about the legs.
Yeah. I mean, it's because there's so
my
many
ankle
people.
hurts, man.
Before we stand for prayer, we are just sitting, but it's not a lot of room, and out of respect, we don't leave our legs like straight open towards the wall,
Yeah.
like in the front.
Yeah, I noticed. And obviously, I couldn't ask you because we had to be very quiet. But I did notice that everyone's sitting in a very specific way, so I was just trying to copy it. There was something else when the cleric was, people were bowing and praying, and I was just copying Arham out of Arham's to my left, like on this camera. So I was just looking out the corner of my left eye, and then we ended up sitting, and then Arham put up his right finger, his index finger like this. It showed how, like that. And then, so I saw that, and I thought Arham was telling me, "Oh, there's 1 minute left." So I put up my thumb.
That was so funny.
Sure.
I was just like, "Oh my god!" And it was so
when
funny.
people cross their arms, I have no idea what's going on. You nudged me, which was very nice.
Yeah,
Thank you.
because he was just standing with his hands down, and I was like, "What are you doing?" And
So you nudged me. So yeah, if I knew more about the process, it would have gone smoother. But apart from that, just me reflecting what everyone else is doing. Yeah, different. I didn't expect it. Again, I've already said this 3 times, but it was so individualistic.
Yeah.
Truly, it really was. You and I have had so many discussions about comparisons between subjective truth and belief systems that are objective, like the Quran, for example, that I didn't really know what to expect.
True. Yeah.
I thought it was going to be a lot more similar to Christian services than it actually was.
Mm-hmm.
I will still say that, in my opinion, they come across as very similar. Then again, I've only been to one service, but if that service is at all representative, do you think?
Yeah,
Is that fair enough?
yeah.
Okay. Then I would say they're still, unsurprisingly, similar. I think they have roots in similar beliefs, and of course, it's an Abrahamic religion, so.
Yeah. True.
Yeah, but again, the execution of the faith is what makes it different, and I didn't know what to expect.
Yeah.
So I would recommend it. I'd recommend, genuinely, even if you're Christian. I don't know what the religious law is on this, but even if you are Christian and you feel comfortable, you should go to a mosque.
Yeah, I mean, the Muslims would agree. We are open-minded. We would just welcome anyone who decides they want to explore and wants to know more about our religion. You can just come join us at prayer. It will not be very hard for you to do that. And you, also, did you expect it to be a lot louder?
In services that I've attended in the past, that were Christian services, most of the prayers that I recall are actually said as groups.
Yeah.
So there's hymns or whatever. And
Yeah.
I don't know if there are services in Islam where you sing songs. I don't know.
We don't have.
You know, well, by comparison, very quiet.
Yeah.
And actually, I prefer it. Like, I'm not going to pretend that I'm going to be reciting the Shahada anytime soon. I'm not going to be religious. I'm not convinced I have a belief system which is at odds with Islam. But as far as practices go, eye-opening, really. And also brought me a bit home a little bit.
Also, did you have any questions with?
Well, I asked you earlier when we were walking, like, why did no one help that kid that was crying? But you gave a pretty succinct explanation, which I actually somewhat repeated already on camera. But basically, you were just saying that they take it very seriously in terms of.
Yeah, that's out of discipline. So
yeah, discipline. Yeah.
In our religion, I think there are very few instances when you can actually leave prayer during prayer. So you obviously are aware when you're going into prayer that you're doing your wuzu and then you're getting ready for it.
Yeah.
So you would always keep in mind that you're not in a place where you can be disturbed, because it's your solitude with God. Like, you are alone and you're reflecting, but you're also in prayer. So you usually put children in the front so that they get to learn from experience also.
Yeah.
And a lot of people they avoid getting their children because they might be a problem for them and a nuisance during prayer. But Islam actually wants that to be there. Like, even if children are going to play, they're going to cry, it's fine. You can
At least they're there.
Yeah, because it's part of them knowing about their culture and religion as well. And society is pushed a lot in Islam. We take care of our society, not just Muslims in general. Anyone in the society also will be taken care of. So you also show them that we are not going to treat you differently just because you are a little human.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
So you will also be. They learn from experience.
Yeah, no.
So-
Well, obviously, all the adults and even the young,
Yeah.
like teenagers, everyone was heads down, shut up.
Yeah.
Which is fair enough.
Because it's in that state of solitude. When you're in prayer, you're also in thought, because there is no such restriction to thought in your prayer. You can pray for your sick, or you can repent, and in that moment you want to be in that state. So only there are certain exceptions. I wouldn't know, but those who are more religious can comment down below, who understand this better, because if I'm giving any wrong information, James would just read it. It's better. So
Yeah.
I will try not to comment on that.
Actually, that leads quite nicely to one of the questions I did have that I alluded to on the walk over here was, where are the women? And then Arhan pointed behind us and said, you see that little mesh fence? They're behind that. And you explained to me that the reason that the women are not in sight of the men, the general population of men, is that we don't want the men to be distracted during prayer.
Yeah, that's one of the
And,
reasons. Yes.
and there's kind of this unspoken understanding, or maybe it's written in the Quran, I don't know, but there's this understanding that men are sexually can be more easily distracted than women can be. Even though women can be distracted by men, it's true. It's less likely. So a lot of the logic as to the service and as to the behaviors prescribed by the Quran, in my opinion, from what I understand, are designed for a generic population. For example, having the women be separate to the men. That's because there's an understanding that most men are going to be easily distracted by the presence of women.
I'd say it's not for the generic. So it's more like you can pray with your family, that's fine. Or you can pray with like your, you can pray with your wife, that's not a problem. But it's when they are strangers to you, is when there is a rule which you have to follow for women. And it's called mehram and non-mehram. So mehram is, there are certain male people who are allowed in your family to be there, but non-mehram is people you have to avoid.
Okay.
But that works both ways.
Yeah.
So they will not be non-haram because they're all strangers to you as a woman or a man. So in that case, you're asked to avoid it because there's multiple things involved in that. Yeah. I actually do not know the full explanation to this, but please, whoever knows can also comment on this. James is very curious, so he can read it in the comment section. I also will get to learn, so that is
Obviously, I'm curious because,
yeah.
to be fair, I should have expected it.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm surprised each and every time because 90% of the things in my life, with the exception of sport, men and women are treated pretty much identically.
Yeah.
And to go into the mosque where it's very clearly explained why there's a separation. Like there's no attempt hiding the weakness of men.
Yeah.
Actually, that's another thing that I'm yet to have said to you that I should have mentioned at the very beginning of this video, is that as well as the cleric and the teachings of the Quran asking you to look introspectively, to look at yourself, they frequently, like every other sentence, acknowledge the weakness of men.
Yeah.
And it's in a much more strong and, in my opinion, realistic sense than perhaps some of the Christian teachings I grew up with. But I could be wrong. There might be a sect of Christianity which is as strict. Or we were discussing this earlier, how it is perhaps likely that Islam today is practiced the same way it was 200 years ago.
Yeah.
Whereas Christianity today is much more loose compared to its version 200 years ago.
Because the Quran prohibits any change made by an external party. So it's a sin to have something rectified in the Quran.
Yeah.
So it's word of God. You can't change it. That's the only reason. So whatever we believe from the time of our prophets is still the same thing we believe now, and it will never change. So even if people do not maintain records, there will always be people who have by-hearted the Quran and can rewrite it. So it can never change.
Even so,
Yeah.
you could imagine in your mind that over time that a religion would choose to be less harsh on its people. I don't think that's happened. I find it.
That can only happen if the law of the land, like I said. So we prioritize what is good for society also. So for example, if the law of the land said Sharia cannot be followed in our country, then we would prioritize law of the land because Quran also says follow the law of the land.
Right.
So in that case, we would not have any
But
change.
I was actually referring. That's true.
Yeah.
And I acknowledge that. But I was actually referring to the cleric's messaging. Specifically, when the cleric was talking to, can I call it the congregation?
Yeah.
The congregation. It was almost every other sentence was directly explaining that, we're very, very weak as individuals. Hell, the cleric was saying, even I'm weak and I have to remind myself what to do. I grew up in a Methodist school. That kind of harsh language didn't occur very often, especially from the priest referring to himself. It depended on the priest. Some priests look into themselves a lot, but to have someone like the cleric we had in our prayer session to say, you know, you are weak. That's different. That's different. I think that's unique. But again, I don't want to use the word unique because I'm sure there's another religion or even sect of Christianity that also does this that I have just not experienced yet.
Yeah.
But it is certainly something that Islam has that I respect.
So I just got back home. My card ran out of storage, so the video could not be fully completed. The end of what James was saying wasn't captured. So anyway, I'm going to be headed to the gym, but before that I decided that I'll conclude the video because I'm not going to be filming any further. I'm going to keep this video short, and the major premise of this video was majorly about James experiencing Islam for the first time. He grew up in Malaysia, but he's never actually been to a mosque or got to experience how our prayers are like. So that's something which he was curious about, which is what I like about him and most of my friend groups. They are very open-minded and they are always willing to learn. So yeah, that is it for the video. Make sure to hit that subscribe button. We are trying to get to 10k and I hope we get there. Anyway, I'll see you guys in the next video. Till then, take care. Bye-bye.